vendor management may seem like a complex knowledge area in the PMP preparation. But have you ever noticed that we practice vendor management in our daily lives without even realizing it? Think of organizing a birthday party or any other family event. We usually do for many options like we search for vendors, we negotiate the prices, then later we decide whether to outsource the entire event or only part of it depending upon the budget, expertise and time. And not only this, after this we make sure that everything is delivered as per the agreement and plan. And this is exactly vendor management in action. Similarly, in project management, we decide to outsource, we select sellers, we define the contracts, we also manage the performance, and along with that, we would be evaluating and also checking the risks and disputes. But the only difference in project management is it has high stakes, and along with it, the processes are also structured. Before we move on to the next section, I would like to introduce to my PMP question bank in Udemy, which has bonus materials including EVM questions and cheat sheet. And I have provided the link in the description and comment for your reference. Now, let's move on to 10 scenario-based questions which will test your skills and readiness on vendor management. PMP scenario-based questions, vendor management. Question 1. A project manager is leading a fixed price contract for a critical software module. Midway through the project, the vendor consistently misses intermediate milestones but assures the final delivery date will be met. The missed milestones are already impacting dependent internal activities. What should the project manager do first? And the options are A. Issue a formal notice of contract breach to protect the organization. B. Review the procurement management plan and conduct a performance review with the vendor. C. Begin the contract termination process due to the non-performance. And the last option D. Adjust the project schedule to accommodate vendor delays. Guess the right option. The right option is option B. PMP logic always starts with reviewing plans and formally assessing performance before escalating. A vendor management or vendor performance review is the right first step. Question 2. A vendor working under a timed and materials contract submits a request to increase rates due to market inflation. The contract does not include an escalation clause. What should the project manager do? A. Accept the request to maintain a good relationship with vendor. B. Reject the request since the contract terms are already agreed upon. C. Submit a change request and perform an integrated change control review. And D. Ask procurement to renegotiate the contract without the documentation. Guess the right answer. The right answer is option C. Any change impacting cost requires formal change control, even if it comes from a vendor. Question 3. A project involves high technical uncertainty and evolving requirements. The sponsor wants to minimize financial risk exposure. Which contract type should the project manager recommend? And options are A. Firm fixed price, B. Fixed price incentive fee, C. Cost plus incentive fee, D. Time and materials. The right answer is option C. Here's a quick memory trick. High uncertainty plus collaboration is equivalent to cost reimbursable with incentives. Question 4. The two approved vendors are blaming each other for integration failures that are delaying the project. The issue is not clearly covered in either contract. What should the project manager do? And the options are A. Escalate the issue to senior management immediately. B. Apply conflict resolution techniques and facilitate a joint problem solving session. C. Penalize both vendors to reinforce accountability. D. Replace one of the vendors to reduce complexity. Guess the right option. And the right option is option B. Because the project manager is responsible for integration and collaboration, especially when contract terms are unclear. Question 5. A project is nearing completion. All deliverables have been accepted, but a minor dispute remains regarding a final invoice amount. What should the project manager do?
And the options are A. Close the contract since the deliverables are complete. B. Withhold payment until the vendor withdraws the dispute. C. Resolve the claim using contract's dispute resolution procedure. And D. Escalate the issue to legal and delay project closure. And the right answer is option C. C is correct because contract closure requires all claims to be resolved using predefined dispute resolution mechanisms. Question 6. A project manager is overseeing a hybrid project where an external vendor is developing critical software module using Agile. During a sprint review, the project manager notices that the vendor has added several high-end features that were not in the initial backlog. The vendor claims these features will provide better long-term value and were implemented at no extra cost to the project budget. What should the project manager do first? The options are A. Accept the features since they add value to the product without increasing the current cost. B. Update the project management plan to reflect the new scope and document the value added. C. Instruct the vendor to remove the features as they constitute gold plating and may increase future maintenance costs. D. Evaluate the impact of these additional features on the project's total cost of ownership and risk profile. Guess the right option. The right option is option D. While gold plating is generally discouraged, the first step in a complex PMP scenario is always to assess or evaluate. Question 7. Midway through a multi year construction project, a primary vendor notifies the project manager that due to a sudden increase in global material costs, they can no longer honor the fixed price contract terms. The vendor threatens to stop work unless the contract is converted to cost plus. The project is on the critical path. What is the best course of action? And the options are option A, terminate the contract immediately and seek an alternative supplier to avoid further delays. B, negotiate a contract amendment to include an economic price adjustment EPA clause. C, refer to the dispute resolution section of the contract and follow the agreed upon procedures. D, request the project sponsor to increase the budget to accommodate the vendor's request and maintain the schedule. Guess the right option. The right option here is option C. In PMP world, the contract is a legal binding document. When a conflict or claim arises that cannot be settled informally, you must follow the alternative dispute resolution ADR or the specific dispute procedures outlined in the contract. Question 8. An organization is transforming from predictive to agile. Project manager is working with a vendor who is used to traditional firm fixed price contracts. The vendor is struggling to provide a detailed fixed scope breakdown for the next 6 months because the project team is using a rolling wave planning approach. How should the project manager handle this? And the options are A. Insist the vendor provide the detailed breakdown to ensure the procurement audit can be completed. B. Suggest a master service agreement MSA for the relationship and work orders for each iteration. C. Change the project lifecycle back to predictive to align with vendors' contractual requirements. D. Ask the procurement department to issue a time and materials contract to allow for maximum flexibility. Guess the right option. The right option is option B. This is a standard agile hybrid procurement strategy. An MSA governs the overall relationship, which specific work orders or statement of work SOW updates are used for evolving scope iterations. Question 9. A vendor delivering a high risk component is consistently missing minor milestones. While these delays haven't affected the critical path yet, the trend suggests a major delay is imminent. The vendor blames a lack of clear requirements. What should the project manager do? And the options are A. Issue a formal cure notice to the vendor to document the performance failure. B. Meet with vendor to review the requirements traceability matrix and identify gaps. C. Withhold the next progress payment until the vendor meets the original schedule. D. Update the risk register and escalate the issue to the procurement manager. Guess the right option. And the right option is option B. The PMP exam prioritizes collaboration and root cause analysis over punitive action. Since the vendor mentioned a specific cause, unclear requirements, the project manager should first investigate if the claim is valid. Question 10. A project has been completed and the final project has been accepted by the customer. The project manager is now performing the close project process. The vendor has submitted their final invoice, but a minor dispute regarding returned equipment remains unresolved. What should the project manager do? And the options are A. Close the project and the contract, noting the dispute in the lessons learned. B. Refuse to close the project until the vendor returns the equipment and the dispute is settled. C. Provide a formal written notice to the vendor and proceed with administrative closure. D. Negotiate a settlement for the equipment and ensure the contract is formally closed. Guess the right option. The right option here is option D. Contract closure must be formal. You cannot finish the project while a contract is still legally open or disputed. The project manager must work to settle the dispute to achieve legal and administrative closure.